future in great health today, every day, responsible self. We live now. Future in great health every day, responsible self. The future in great health. Well, good morning and welcome to WMPR 90.1, number one station in the nation, where we're providing you with some great, helpful, healthy information that you can take on the run right here on WMPR 90.1 FM. We're so grateful to have you with us this morning. I'm Chef Charles, and I got a guest with me this morning, dynamic guest with me this morning. This is Attorney Whitehead. We're going to let her introduce herself in a minute. But I want to thank you guys for making this show your show that you wake up every Thursday morning and be excited about. We want to always make sure we deliver. We are so grateful for this platform. We understand and realize that your health is your wealth. And listen, high blood pressure is not mandatory. Type 2 diabetes is not mandatory. High cholesterol is not mandatory. And food matters because action is required. So thank you guys so much for caring about yourself, caring about your health, that you wake up at 7 o'clock. Turn on the radio, get on YouTube. You can find us at Charles and the Fighters. If you want to watch us, you ought to, I tell you what, you want to see Attorney Whitehead this morning. So go ahead and go to the YouTube channel. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself. But first, I want to say thank you for Tabernacle Ministry for thinking enough of us who want to help support this program, because wherever you are, we want to be there. And some people have to help us to be on these airways to get to where you are. So we're so grateful for Tabernacle Ministry for being one of those ministries that care. So without further ado, the one and the only one, Attorney Whitehead. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Smith. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. Welcome to My Help My Mississippi.
Yes,
Tell the
sir.
people who you are so they'll know and be excited like I am.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. I pray you're having a wonderful morning, that you're in full embrace of God's sufficient grace for you in all the things. My name is Kenasha Whitehead. I go by Nasha, and I'm an attorney and ministry strategist. And recently, I founded Whitehead Law and Consulting. We are Christ centered, competent counsel for churches, ministries, and kingdom driven brands and businesses. And so essentially, we come alongside all of those who are trying to build the kingdom of God in any context to help them build well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's important, to help church build well.
Mhm.
Because what we try and do on My Help My Mississippi is to have a healthier community. And some of the staples in the community, obviously, are the church. So we're going to be talking about this morning strong churches. Because if we have churches that are strong, we're going to have strong communities.
That's right.
And if we have strong communities, we're going to have what? Strong people. So we all need each other. And we're going to dive into it and talk about how churches can be strong spiritually and fall easily if they don't have legal guidance.
Right.
And your firm, so tell us how you can help churches become healthier. Because when we think of churches, we usually think of spiritual teaching.
Right.
We don't even think about our health. We just think about emotional and spiritual healing and spiritual knowledge and teaching the word. But we need to be concerned with the health of our bodies, and we need to be concerned with the health of our church when we talk about from the legal aspect of it. And you've been practicing attorney, and I think you're an expert to talk about churches for circumstances because you're also an ordained minister.
Yeah, well, yes, I was nationally ordained fresh out of seminary.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm still considered a practicing minister, but it's like it never goes away.
No,
right?
it never goes away. So you got the inside scoop too. You know what it's like
Yes,
and
yes.
that's what makes it so important, and that's why I wanted to have you on right here on WMPR 90.1 on My Help My Mississippi, because what you're providing for the churches now so that they can stand firm in their belief and be protected. There's some strategies, and I like what you said, ministry strategists, right? And so there are some things that churches can do to be healthier so they can empower the people in the community to be healthy. And so we all can live a healthier life, both physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Right.
How is it that some of our churches are just one little thing away from being like non-existent?
Right. Yeah. So the word of God says where there is no counsel, the people fall.
Mm-hmm.
And in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. And what we do is we try to provide that safety through counsel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the challenges with churches and ministries, and again also just Christ-centered brands and businesses um, that aren't legally, I'm sorry, excuse me, I lost my train of thought, but that aren't legally secured, is that we wait until there's a crisis before we set up crisis response, right? We wait until there is a problem before we begin seeking a solution. And as the people of God, the Lord has called us to be wise and to be prudent. And a part of that responsibility is to understand that an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And so setting up the legal safeguards on the front end by bringing attorneys in, like our firm, we do customizable workshops to help churches understand what are their legal responsibilities, what are their compliance responsibilities, and just what is good, moral, and ethical to have in place as practices in your ministry. And so I think it's just important the challenge is right, getting us to value it ahead of time.
Yes.
To manage the risks before the risk begin to manage us, or spill over into moral failure, legal misconduct, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's really all about having an attitude of prevention, which really is reflective of the wisdom and prudence that God has called us to in the stewardship of what He's calling us to build.
Say that one more time.
I don't even know what I said.
When you talk about, you said an ounce of prevention.
Yes, it's better than a pound of cure. So it just takes a little bit of effort on the front end to assess we do ministry audits. So we do legal audits, and then we do audits just on the reputational integrity side. Let's figure out what are our blind spots, what are the gaps. Let's identify those. Let's be proactive about that, and then let's kind of pace ourselves in filling the gaps and managing the risk and all of those things, as opposed to, again, the ounce, right? It's the small steps on the front end, right?
We talked about that yesterday.
Right, versus the pound, which is usually costly litigation, and most importantly for churches, the cost to your witness. Because we cannot adequately serve the people of God if our witness has been tainted and contaminated, and people don't even trust us to speak into their lives. So it's all interconnected.
Now say that again. I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm a very transparent person. I told Mr. Smith before we started the interview how nervous I am. So he up here asking me to repeat myself. I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying. I don't know the last thing I said.
That was such a joke there. I had to get you that. So she's relaxed now. So I love what you said, and here's why. To sum it up, basically, you don't want us to be reactive. You want us to be proactive.
That's
when
correct.
it comes to our churches, because they have a tremendous responsibility in helping to grow the community. When we see churches on the different corners, on every corner, we should get excited, and they should be as strong as possible
Right.
and able to build communities because they have built themselves
That's right.
from the foundation up legally and spiritually. But that doesn't surprise me that we are reactive rather than proactive, simply because and I know Attorney Whitehead is passionate about this guy. So we're going to give her contact information out later, but she's very passionate about this. So am I when it comes to your physical health and how food is harming us, and how the not being prepared legally hurted our churches. But we're reactive because we'll wait until we start taking medications before we even start looking at our liver and our lungs and our kidneys. I mean, we say, oh, yeah, we take them for granted. I said, I talk to people about the Live 5. Okay? The Live 5 that's keeping us alive, like our brain and our heart and our liver and our kidneys and our lungs. They're all helping us. But we just carry them around until they stop acting right, and then we'll go, I don't know what's wrong. I don't my heart feel like it's just something wrong with it. But we treat it any kind of way until there's that sign that something is wrong. So it's appreciating where we are and who we are. It's appreciating that I have a church and I need to make sure all of my legal activities that needs to be done. I need help because people don't know this. They don't know this, Attorney Whitehead. People don't, it's not just opening a door, particularly this day and time. It's not just buying a building, open the door and say, let's have church.
That's right.
That's praise
the age
the
of
Lord.
the storefront is I'm not gonna say it ceased to exist, but
Yeah.
it's few and far between.
But the idea of having, because you can jump in there and rent a church and not take care of some things, and you can be, so much can go wrong.
Right.
And let's try and be more proactive. So how difficult you think it's going to be for people to start looking at this to be proactive? Like, I know what it's like trying to get people to change the way they're eating. It's not easy.
It's hard out here, Mr. Smith.
You reminded me of that.
Look,
movie
I'm
now.
empowered on this side. I'm convicted on that side. So.
Well, where you're powerful at and where I'm powerful at, this is how we can come together. Because I would love, when I make a presentation at church, I want to make sure that we can say to the ministers, the pastors, the bishops, listen, there are some things that needs to be done ministry strategy wise that you need to talk to, just to make sure you have things in order. Sort of like a wheel on a saber for a person, but the church needs to make sure that they have these things in order. So you go in and you assess things, and how can people reach you when they need you? We'll give them this several times, but name of your law firm again.
Whitehead Law and Consulting, PLLC. People can reach us at whiteheadlawandconsulting.com. If you want to email us, that's info@whiteheadlawandconsulting.com. And we are under that name on Facebook and Instagram.
Good. So we'll give that information out again before. But if you're listening, here's what we decided. And the reason that we wanted to team up is we understand the importance of the church.
Mhm.
We understand the importance of the community. And we understand the importance of our health. I'm wearing my Fighters t-shirt, future in great health today, every day, responsible self. But you know, the last two letters says responsible self. I got my Fighters cup here. We are responsible for making sure that we have things in order, right? And to be proactive sometimes it's just not easy.
Right.
We like to wait until we're not feeling well before we go to the doctor. Listen, I talk to my liver, my lungs, and my kidneys every day. How y'all doing? I'm gonna take care of y'all today. You know why? Because y'all are taking care of me. You know, we're in this thing together.
That's right.
If y'all stop, I stop.
That's right.
So I gotta make sure you get what you need in order to take care of Charles. It's not but one Charles, Sam. And the world gonna miss him.
Indeed.
So what I have to realize is we got to look at churches the same way.
That's right.
It's not one that's more important than the other, based on size or number of members. They all have a role and they're important, and they all need to talk to Attorney Whitehead
Come on,
about what they need to
That's
put
right.
in place.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, every church needs some of the same foundational things, right? You need to make sure your formation is secure with the Secretary of State, that your 501c3 status, which is usually just kind of naturally bequeathed to a religious organization, but make sure that's set with the IRS. And then just other basic, policies and procedures that you would need in place to run your church based on the size. But churches also need different things, right? If you have a mega church, you may need more than what, a smaller church needs. And so it's just really important that each church, first and foremost, pray and ask the Lord to give you a heart of stewardship, particularly, legally from my standpoint, right? And that the Lord would really stir in you that conviction that to whom much is given, much is required, and to whom much is entrusted, that much more of him will be asked. And so to get that heart of stewardship kind of stirring in your soul, and then ask the Holy Spirit to lead you to what are the next steps. And so like calling somebody like us in to say, hey, our articles of incorporation, are they solid? Our bylaws good? And particularly with the church's governing board, I see a lot of issues with how those boards are set up, with how the resolution actions are made or recorded or not made or not recorded. And then when something goes wrong and you have to reference those minutes or those actions, they aren't in the places that they should be, right? So just kind of figuring out what do you need. And then I see a lot too with the larger churches that have a lot of the legal safeguards in place because they have staff, right? So the more staff, the more human resources you can have with different, levels of expertise and industry expertise, then kind of the better off you are at being able to, kind of spread out your knowledge and make sure you filled in those gaps. But then a lot of them really, you see now, I mean, just nationally, all of the moral failure that's occurring because they're lacking a lot of times in the ministry strategy piece. You see a lot of the, like for instance, policies on opposite sex communication. How do people how do men and women in ministry communicate, right? what are their hours when they need to stop texting, or are there, if one person is married and one person is not, do you include the spouse in a text message? Like, these are things that are developing on the ministry compliance side with larger organizations like ECFA and just other organizations, just making sure that these things in a granular way are really taken care of in churches, so that we can, because we can be as spiritual as we want to be, but we also have to take practical steps to safeguard ourselves. And so, yeah, so just on the legal and ethical side, we want to come in and make sure the boundaries are there, and then come alongside churches to help them implement those boundaries and test them out and figure out, what works and what doesn't work. And because you can just, I feel like church leaders and ministry leaders, business leaders, you sleep better at night knowing that you've done everything that you can to steward well what God has given you. And again, to protect the witness.
Yeah, that's powerful. Those are things that I wouldn't have even thought about. So I wake up 12 o'clock, I'll send a text.
And again, every ministry doesn't need the same thing, but ministries who have experienced a lot of similar. You've seen the video where the pastor was talking about, do we sit people down now? Do we bring them up before the congregation to apologize? I mean, we're sinners, right? We're sinners saved by grace. And so the people who are in leadership, the volunteers, how are we managing these people? How are we you're a children's pastor for amazing children's pastor, you and Miss Smith, for over 30 years, right?
Yes.
So like, how are we doing the background checks, right? How are we vetting people who are working with children? How do churches understand their role of mandatory reporting? Just all of these things that make the community of the believers feel safe and cared for. That's really what it's about. Like, we complicate it, and so that's why I think we avoid it, but it's not that complicated when you drill it down to its core. It's about people the flock that God has entrusted to us, feeling safe and cared for. So,
can you repeat that again?
I think I can repeat that. But so that's as simple as that.
That is, and it's so. Listen, so call Attorney Whitehead, because it may seem complicated simply because you hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. It is so meaningful, and you just can't neglect legality these days. You cannot go without making sure you have things in order. And as we have planned for this some time, and I was thinking about being a chef, being a cook, trying to get folk healthy, I was thinking in terms of food for the church. The church needs to be fed properly.
No more fish plates. So
No, what I mean by that is like for an example, legally fed. We need to have legal food so we can grow. So sometimes, because we may start off small, but we have that foundation. We have that person that we can reach out to. So we're gonna grow and be healthier and stronger, right? If we call you.
Yes.
If they call you, they have an opportunity to grow, stronger, and that will be able to affect the community, because, like you said earlier, it's basically for the people. We're trying to stay healthy. We want a healthy church. We don't want our church to be splashed all over the news and stuff like that. And and people, they'll bash the church if they get an opportunity now.
Yes. They'll bash it without opportunity. Yes. And we just that's really my heart, the reputational integrity and the witness of the church, because we are keepers of the gospel.
Yes.
And so because of that, we should be the most excellent, most superb group of individuals that exist. Like the level of our function, the height of our integrity it should be supreme
Wow.
because it is reflective of God. May men see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So again, it's just about adopting that conviction
Wow.
of everything that we do should be reflective of how God does things. And that's what I'm after, you know. And I think it's gonna trickle down to people not leaving our churches at the rate, you know, that they've been leaving our churches, and also people calling on the church,
Mm-hmm.
the community calling on the church when
Right.
they're in need, because we are stable in all of our ways.
Right.
And all the things we do it excellently, we do it well. And so
Yeah. Did y'all see that that minister coming out of her when she was speaking? You see
oh
that? Doing the next, and you made a really good point. We should, and it was interesting. We seem to be the opposite, right? Any and everything can go okay in God's house when it should be like a spirit of excellence
that's right.
rather
Through
than
and through.
just get by with this. So
Yeah.
wow, that's so
We're the
important.
example
We
in
should
in
be the
every way.
example. Yes.
Because think about it, the church, and I gotta shout my church out. I go to Word of Life. I so the main campus is on Lakeland, but we go to Poindexter and West Jackson, and where a spirit of excellence is certainly executed and all the things. But I lost my train of thought. Say your question one more time.
No, we were saying we should be like excellent, but we do just the opposite.
Right. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, because I thought about Word of Life, because it's a large church. It's one church in multiple locations, and because of how large it is, there is just a variety of people that attend. Right, like I go. I'm an attorney. I know I have other colleagues that go there. I know physicians that go there, educators. You know, blue collar folks. Like
Yeah.
there's just the gamut of people who attend. Right, and so that place should be an example, and they are an example to how they execute things in house, is a model for how we execute things in our daily walk with the Lord and in our vocations. So that's what I mean by that trickle down effect. When you are planted in a place that again executes with a spirit of excellence, then that becomes a model for you and how you live your life personally, but then also professionally. And again, it just keeps spanning out and spanning out and spanning out. Like we're just continue to be light, you know, in all the places where we go. And so, but people should look to their churches as that example, that primary example of how to live, how to work, how to serve, how to lead.
That is so good. That is so good. We shouldn't shy away from that pedestal.
Right. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
We
it.
should
That
want to let
I'm
our
only
light shine.
human, and we are only human, you
Right.
know. But God has called us to a standard, and we gotta stand up in it. We have to stand up in it and deliver.
That was a sermon.
That's right.
That was a good one, though.
From the pedestal.
That was a good one. I gotta go back and listen to this before, right? We're gonna try and pull some of those points out of there. That was good. That was good. You know, and I think it's the same way when it comes to our food. We shouldn't be afraid of that pedestal because we are an example for our children, for our neighbors, for our other family members. My mom died at 58. My sister died at 54. Another one died at 52. Dad died at 41. Wow. What if I didn't try and set a different example about my eating? This is my temple. I shouldn't just put anything in my body just because somebody advertised it. We got a 10-piece over here for $3. Everybody get on the phone. Girl, they got a 10-piece over there for $3. How many do you want? I'm getting 6. You know, and then we don't even think about how it's hurting our body. I call it the TNN. So this is how we eat. We eat, we don't eat TAN, we eat TNN. We eat for taste, not nourishment.
Mm.
And we should eat for 10, taste and nourishment. Because I love some good tasting food. Now, don't bring me no nasty food telling me to eat it because it's healthy.
Right.
You eat
Right.
it.
Right.
I want my food tasting good and healthy. I love good tasting food. It just has to be good for my body.
That's right.
If it's not good for my body, it's non-negotiable.
That's right.
So we're going to come back on the other end and be talking about how a healthy church can help a healthy community to have healthy individuals health-wise, okay?
All right.
On another side. Take it away, Marcus. Give us our theme song. Yep. Boom, boom, boom.
So we're still live on YouTube, huh?
Yes, and we're still live on radio.
The future in great health. Responsible,
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
where the fathers would die for our health. The future in great health. Every day, responsible sound. Where the fathers would die for our health. The future in great health. Today, every day, responsible sound. Where the
Girl, the fitness
future.
Yes, we are fighting for our health. And look, we're fighting for our church's health, our community health. We have Attorney Whitehead with us today. Well, this part of the show, we're going to get back to back to her preaching.
I know, I'm trying to sound more lawyerly. I don't know.
I love it because that means you're passionate about helping the churches. So we'll get to the legal part. The lawyer needs to come out when you get to the church. Right now, you're trying to preach to them so they'll know what to do. Okay. All right. So this portion of the show, we always have Who Am I? So we're gonna do the Who Am I? But first, I want to tell you where I'm going to be in the community, so you can come out and support us. We're gonna be September the 4th. We're gonna have a Let's Beat Breast Cancer rally at the Two Mississippi Museum downtown. Been named the top 10. They're in the top 10 of museums in the country, I believe. Yeah, so that's real good. We'll be there. We'll have Provine Band there. If you want your band to be there, whatever school you went to, please reach out to me. And we're going to be able to provide them some funds for getting there. But we always have fun. This will be our 3rd year. Let's Beat Breast Cancer. One of my sisters died of breast cancer, and I'm very passionate about that. And we're going to have I'll be at a health and wellness fair in Byron. This would be August the 16th from 10 to 2. I'll be doing a cooking demonstration there. We're going to be cooking up some good food because you need to be spiritually fed, physically fed, and emotionally fed. And we're going to make sure we try and help. And I will also be at Spring Hill Christian Center at their health fair, which will be August the 9th. Yes, August the 9th will be there. And then every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, write this down. Every Tuesday at 6 o'clock for the next 3 weeks, I have a online class. It's called Cool Eats for Hot Days. You need to get this, Cool Eats for Hot Days. You can go to My Help My Mississippi. This class is free. Don't cost you 1 penny. I want you to say, well, I can't afford 50 cents to come listen. You don't have to pay anything. It's for free. And we're going to show you how to prevent diabetes before it happens. What did you say that? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We want to make sure that we do this prevention part, okay? So here's one thing that would help you. Who am I? This is part of the show where we name a particular vegetable or fruit or grain, and you tell me who I am. So who am I? You ready, Marcus? Who am I? Here's what. I am rich in fiber. I'm super for your heart health, okay? I am rich in fiber and antioxidant that help lower cholesterol and blood pressure. God, I lower your high blood pressure and cholesterol. Who am I? What food am I? I regulate blood sugar. Wow. slow digestion, and help prevent sugar spikes. I am great for managing type 2 diabetes. Woo! I aid in weight loss, low in calorie, high in fiber. I help you feel fuller and you won't eat as much, okay? I boost your immune system. I'm full of vitamin C. I can't wait to get home. I got two of them in the refrigerator. Okay, I'm full of vitamin C and antioxidant that support a strong immune system. People always ask me, do I catch cold? What would it look like me running trying to catch a cold? No, I try to have my immune system so high the cold can't catch me, right? That's I support brain function. I'm antioxidant in and I help protect memory and cognitive function. Y'all gotta get me. Okay. Antioxidant in me help protect memory. All right, so that was okay. Number 9. This is a good tip. My crunchy texture stimulates saliva, helping fight tooth decay. Got that crunchy. All right, that ought to be a good tip. All right, last one. I keep you hydrated. I am over 80% water, refreshing and hydrating with every bite. Who am I? I naturally cleans your teeth. I keep you hydrated. I help your brain. That's a good guess. He said grapefruit. Marcus said grapefruit. But remember, I said that crunchy taste. All right, I can give you one tip, and the world would get it when I give you this one tip. Okay, they taught us this in school. A blank a day keep the doctor away. Caller, you on the air?
Yes, I would like to answer. It's a cucumber.
Cucumber. That's a good one. But no, that's not it.
Thank you.
All right. That was a good answer. That was a good one because it's crunchy and it does a lot of the same thing. But I'm an apple. I am an apple. And you can eat me year round. And I bring all of those health benefits. And that's what we're trying to do here. You're trying to bring the church's health benefits. I'm trying to bring the community health benefits so we can get our people healthier, right? So we're working this together, right? And that's the idea of it. So we all need to be eating apples. Now, when we think of apples in terms of the legal perspective, the churches need to be making sure they get the legal things in order so they can be healthy, right? And the community buy into the church. So if the church is healthier, we're going to have what? Healthier, stronger communities, right? And then if we have strong community, that means we're going to have, we're going to be stronger ourselves. Eating right. And I'm going to give you, this is a statistic that I read last night. It says doctors fight back at Mississippi leads U.S. in amputation. And what's causing it? I mean, this is huge. It is really huge. I mean, the statistic is crazy. I mean, and thank Mr. Jones for sending me this. But as Mississippi leads the nation in amputation, doctors fighting back peripheral arterial disease. And what is that? With Mississippi leading the nation in amputation, some doctors and health officials are working to reduce the number of amputation caused by peripheral arterial disease. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute in case you don't know. But here's the race that I want to give you before we get back into making sure our churches are healthy. We got to get our people healthy too,
That's right.
Mississippi rate of 129.7 amputation per 100,000 residents is more than double the national average of 45.5 per 100,000, according to the American Heart Association data, right? Is that not crazy? Why is that happening? Well, peripheral arterial disease is a disease where the arteries become clogged with plaque. When this plaque builds up inside of our arteries, it can make it difficult for blood to circulate. This condition typically reduces blood flow to the limbs, most commonly the legs. I always say, if you want the blood to flow so the toes don't have to go,
Okay.
you got to get the green into your bloodstream, right? So you got to get some green, guys. We got to make sure we start eating our vegetables and things like that because it helps our blood flow, right? And now, and when I think about the pulse of a church, I think about like the blood flow and the pulse of a human being. I think it's so tied in there together. We need to be legally fit to be able to do what we're called to do. And just like we need to be healthier enough as a minister or a pastor or anyone in the church for that matter, we need to be healthy enough so that we can carry on the work of the Lord, right? And we can't do that if we are sick and unable to walk or talk, and it's things that we cause to ourselves. Who causes high blood pressure? Let me see. Do the air cause it? Do they drop something on a plane that causes us to have it? Or is it something that we're causing to ourselves? And I'm not making light of it. The idea of it is, I just need to know. I want people to know, just like I wanted you to know all the things that a fruit would do or a vegetable would do. I need you to know the things that causes you to be sick. And then if you want to go ahead and be sick, okay, fine. You can be sick, but I don't want you to be sick unknowingly what caused you to be sick. And then how you can get rid of it rather than just having to take medication for it, okay? And again, if you're on your medication, please continue to take your medication. That's not what we said. But you got to start using food as medicine. Steve Jobs said it best. If you don't make food your medicine, then medicine will become your food. And I know so many people who are taking so much medication that they don't have room for food. But an ounce of prevention. Say it with me. Better than a pound of cure. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to be in the hospital and then say, well, I'm gonna do better. I gotta do better. I gotta make some change. No, I'll make some change. I used to see people on the track field, as I'm out there all the time, and someone would be out there and say, yeah, I had to come out here. The doctor told me I had a heart attack, so I gotta start walking. I always thought, what if I was walking before I had the heart attack? Maybe I wouldn't even have one, right? Always that pound of prevention. So I always think like that. And so the reason that I wanted you here today is to make sure that if we can keep the church from hurting itself, shouldn't we do it? And you're the right person for it. This is your calling. I'm telling you, I told you to write your mission statement. Change it. It ought to be an ounce of prevention, because this is what you're trying to do, and you're so passionate about helping. I think helping our churches and others, and I think it's because it's that preacher in you. You want the best for them, and you said it so eloquently about how we should be on this page. We should be an example, and I 100% agree. We should be that example. When I saw people getting sick in my family, I raised my hand. I said, you know what? I'm getting out of this line. Because I always tell people about the PDF file. You know what PDF file is? Well, I'm going to change the definition to it. Here's what PDF file is. Pharmaceutical company, diet companies, and food industry. It's a circle, okay? And then we eat food, and then we go in the doctor. Then we have to go to the doctor to get some medicine, right? And it's a circle, right? So I raise my hand and say, hey, hello, I'm getting out of line. I don't want to be in this circle no more.
Right.
I don't want to go to pharmacy. I don't want to be on the, I don't want to do that. I just want to change my lifestyle. And what you're trying to do, and I admire you for this, you're trying to change the lifestyle of our church, because we look to our church in the news now, with social media. Man, we see everything. If something happens to your church, you're going to be on social media.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
And people going to poke some fun at you.
That's right. You'll be a headline in the subject of a group text before you even know, before the pastor even knows all the facts about what's happening. Yeah, for sure. And I love what you said about just your own experiences kind of fueling your passion. I love the church. My father, my late father, was a pastor, and so I grew up, in the church. Just every day, right? Like choir rehearsal, Bible study, all the things. And yes, and I've always been involved in ministry or mission work in some capacity. Went to seminary before law school, and when I actually went to seminary, my emphasis there was church planning and just the health of the church and understanding parachurch missions, which is a lot of times, I mean, you have the nonprofits that come along as parachurch ministries, but also Christ-centered businesses are considered parachurch ministry because they're believers in the marketplace doing business, a lot of times in collaboration with the church. And part of my background too that's really unique is early on in my legal practice, I was able to serve as lead corporate counsel for the world's largest Christian mission organization. And so I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot, and like you said, now with social media, seeing a lot of the negative things about the church, I'm just really stirred to change that narrative, because oftentimes, I mean, I can't remember the quote, but the negative things are going to be loudest.
Yeah.
Right. And that is often, I mean, that's not the sum total of who we are as the body of Christ. But oftentimes they are telling, and they are indicative of, again, the missteps and the things that we overlook and that we push off to a later date. And so I want to move those dates forward by saying, like, hey, I can help you on an incremental scale. Like, we don't have to come in and do a major overhaul, but just put it on your radar that you want to do these checkups. I like to call them church checkups.
Yeah, I love that.
That, speaking of kind of the health language, but like, let's just put it on your radar. Let's do it quarterly. Let's do it, annually, kind of like just turn the light on, right? And then we can, and I just believe the Lord and His Holy Spirit will empower you through the process to make sure, just having the heart to check up, to get the checkup done. I believe He'll see that, and He'll continue to kind of lead and guide you into all truth, and that there'll be a covering over your ministry just because you care about this and you're actually taking the steps to get it right. So,
wow, I like that. Step up for the church checkup.
I gotta put you on payroll for this.
I
Be a
love
jingle
that.
writer.
Yeah, step up for the church checkup. We got to get the church checked up, because we have, because we always have these health fairs, and I'm always attending, and I'm providing healthy ideas, healthy meals, trying to make sure that we treat our liver and our lung and our kidneys right. And you're doing the exact same thing by making sure, and you're passionate about that, and that's what I like. Don't send me somebody out there don't care but just want to get paid. I don't have time for that. Give me somebody that care about the well-being, because you fit in, right? Because it's who you have become. You mentioned your dad. What's the ministry in
my mom?
Your mom. Yeah, I was gonna say, she'll be coming over here in just a second. So you grew up there. So it makes sense for you to be passionate about the health of the church.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah. And God has called you to and has prepared you, because you can be called to do things and not prepared
That's
to do
right.
things.
That's good.
But he's called you and he's prepared you. You were working one of the largest churches, she said,
Mission
organization, and I mean the experience. So y'all, we're talking to Attorney Whitehead here, who uh, I noticed how you describe yourself as a disciple. I wanted to mention that. And I really like that, but I like the idea that the ministry strategies. So every church needs that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So every church need you, right?
Yes.
They do. If we want to be a healthy church. Now, please don't say God's going to take care of it. Please don't say that. Okay? Because it's like saying to me, I'm going to eat this, and I'm not saying for you what not to eat or whatnot, but it's like saying, well, I know I have this high blood pressure. I'm going to eat this bacon, but I'm going to pray over it. Don't do that.
Story of my life.
Don't do that. Don't do that in my presence, okay? Don't do that in my presence.
I need to hang out with you more.
Come on now. I don't need, see, God got bigger things to do. He's working miracles. And if you get on the top, we're right here at WMPR 90.1 at the station, live on YouTube. But if you climb up on the top of this building and you jump down, you coming down. Because there is a law called gravity. He's not going to just change that. I'm not saying he can't, but he's not just going to change that for you because you will go up there and test him. He didn't even let the devil test him. Man should he just simply said, man should not eat by bread alone. Right? And so all I'm saying is I want to bring you information that will help you. And I always say there are 4 categories of food you need to eat. And you can eat as many of it as you want. And that's fruit. You need to eat some fruits every day. Why? Because it provides vitamin C. Okay, don't tell me you had some fruit last week. It doesn't matter because fruit doesn't store in your body like vitamin B and G and things like that. So you need to replenish it every day. And don't tell me, you know, what fruit you don't like. Well, I don't like it. It's so many of them out there. Find one you do like and eat it, okay? Yeah, people are so quick to take what they don't do. I'm a picky eater. Well, I'm a picky medicine taker because that stuff may hurt me later. So all I'm saying is, get you some fruits every day. If you go to my refrigerator now, because boy, I'm gonna burn up some apples. Because I just reiterated the fact that these apples are good. I'm probably gonna get me 2 or 3 of them. So I'm gonna get my apples, and I got some plums. I got some watermelons. I got some raspberry. Somebody was counting my fruits one time. I was telling them what all I ate. I had to lay down their bread. Said that man ate 15 fruits. That's it. I was doing my classes, but I make sure I get my fruits because I know where my vitamin C comes from. And so when COVID came, it exposed us, right? So that's what you were saying. We don't want for a crisis to come. Like we were just dying and getting sick because our immune system was so weak. And we was going to the doctor and they was giving us vitamin C and E. And we should have been already full of that stuff.
Yeah. That was a part of the COVID cocktail. Was the
Absolutely.
vitamin C. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They couldn't figure out how to, so they were just giving you a bunch of list of medications.
Trying to build your immune system up
it.
because you can't stop the disease, but you can give your body the ammunition to fight it.
That's it.
And see, my liver, my lungs, my kidneys, they fight for me. They go to war for me. But I give them the ammunition to fight them. Now you can have all the guns you want. If you ain't got no ammunition, like that little boy said, you're gonna be killed it. Because they ain't laugh at it. We gotta give our lungs to the have. We gotta keep that blood flowing. Everything you eat goes into your bloodstream. You can't eat a French fry or hamburger and your blood start flowing like oil and molasses in the wintertime, right? But when you give it those greens and those fruit, it flows like water. That's how blood's supposed to flow. If the blood don't flow, the toes. I'm just saying.
That's gonna live rent free in my head. but that's a.
Yeah, we gotta keep
I'm-
that blood flowing.
I'm glad I came.
Yeah,
I
listen.
needed this.
Our bloodstream is our transit system, and we need to make sure everything that goes in our blood is gonna be good. Okay, so it can keep flowing. So I'm so happy that we have you here. So one more time, let's give them the contact information because listen, Attorney Whitehead will help the church become healthier, so the community will be stronger, and we as people of the community and of the church will be even healthier. Am I right? Tell them how they can reach you.
Yes, so my name is Nasha Whitehead, and you can reach us at Whitehead Law and Consulting PLLC. That's www.whiteheadlawandconsulting.com. Email info@whiteheadlawandconsulting.com. You can find us by that same name on Instagram and Facebook, and our office number is 601-724-4200.
Absolutely. Or you can always call the station here or reach out to My Help My Mississippi. Say, hey, I want that attorney lady to help my church get healthy. And the churches that I'm going to be attending doing cookouts, we're going to be talking to them about getting healthier also from the legal perspective. So I want to introduce, all of the leaders in these different churches, pastors, preachers, and bishops to Attorney Whitehead so that she can help us to have a stronger community, right? And have a stronger present because we should. Am I right about it?
Amen.
You can always reach me at myhelpmymississippi.com. That's myhelpmymississippi spelled out. MISSISSIPPI. Yeah, myhelpmymississippi.com. So you can reach me there. Or you can reach out to me at 601-940-4940. Listen, we thank you so much. I'm so grateful
Thank you.
for part one.
Okay.
For part one, because we got to keep fighting for these churches. Okay, you can't hear this just one time and expect them to get it right.
That's right.
And so we
That's
just
right.
got to keep. We're gonna be
Keep the
back.
information
We're gonna
flowing.
yes, and so we're gonna make sure that you can go back and watch this on YouTube. We're gonna do us a short. We're gonna keep this in front of you because we want our churches healthy. I know I want my church healthy. Yes, here we go. So thank you guys for being a part of, again, My Help My Mississippi, the #1 station in the nation as far as providing you with great, helpful information right here on WMPR 90.1. Marcus, can we have our theme song? Yes, because we're the fighters. We're fighting for our help. You got to sing that with me. Here we go.
If I knew it, I would. I definitely would.
It's been
I gotta
fun.
get a shirt.
Oh yeah, we gotta get a fighter shirt. Everybody need a fighter shirt. Come on with it, Marcus. The future in great health. Your mama over there singing. The sad, because we're the fighters. The fighters, we're fighting for our help. Yes.